Hi guys, this will be the last part of the three-part of the series. We're gonna actually take our completed character with, it's fully rigged, has facial movements, and has the big textures, and we're finally gonna take it here into Unity. Yeah, first things first, if you don't already have it, make a VRChat account. You definitely are gonna need that. And second of all, you'll need the VRChat Creator Companion. And using this, you should be able to create a new project. And you definitely want to just do Unity 2022 Avatar project. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. Um, I would also recommend going into settings here. And if you don't have it, um, actually, we don't actually need any of these, but if you guys need any of these community repositories, I do use VRC Fury and Go Loco. These are just for like toggles. If you ever pursue any avatar creation after this, you might want to get those. But with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and open up our project that we just created, or that you just created, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna skip ahead to where I have the project open. All right, so now that we're here in the Unity project, it should be, completely blank unless you've obviously, done some stuff before. Um, First and foremost, the thing we want to get is, we want to get the shader that we're going to use, and for this video, I'm opting to use Poemi shader, but if you'd like to use something else, that's completely okay, and I definitely recommend experimenting. But if you guys need to know where to get it, you can simply just go to poemi.com and you can head over to this download and install tab. And really, I would just get the manual Unity package. You can just download it for the GitHub, and you're going to get this .unity package file. And simply all you're going to do is drag and drop it into here, and you'll import all the files that are needed for the shader, and it's going to be in here. I'm personally on version 10 of Poemi, as I have, purchased a premium version of it, but we are not going to use any premium features of the shader today, so everything should be, you know, straightforward, and everyone should be able to follow the tutorial the same way. But other than that, I also made this avatars folder, and I also made a folder here just for the video. Here was my test version, if you guys want to see like what my final avatar looks like. So I got it looking something like this, and that's basically it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna toggle this off, and if I reference this folder, all I have is my textures. Here's my model right here, and then all my materials are in here as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and drag and drop. Actually, first thing I would recommend doing is bringing in our textures. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to where those are at really quick. So here's all the textures from our baking video. So I'm just going to go ahead and press Control A to select all, and I'm just going to simply drag and drop them in here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back one, and I'm also going to go ahead and grab my FBX as well, and I will drag and drop it in here. And then I can exit out that. And then next, it's basically going to ask if you want to fix the normals, and I'm just going to press fix now, so it basically changes the texture type. And the next thing we're going to do is I really want to just kind of get rid of all these blank textures that we don't need. So I would recommend keeping anything that says diffuse, so definitely just keep all of these that are diffuse. However, we can definitely get rid of emission, and you can basically just go through any of these, and if you don't need them, you can just delete them. So we shouldn't need any, we'll keep that one. But I can get rid of like the emission on a tattoo, tail, and just like all this stuff. This is only if the texture's like completely blank. So I can see all those are no good because none of the stuff like this, the clothes and stuff like that don't have any glowing bits on them. That's kind of how you can tell. And then I'm just going to keep going ahead and looking through this. I think we can get rid of all these transmission textures. We should not even need them. And we'll just press yes to delete. And lastly is the glossies. Like I said, this is kind of like for metallic stuff like that, or just shiny stuff. So I can see the shoe right here, and my jeans also have that. I can see this sweater right here has it, so we definitely want to take that one off. So that's right here. So we're gonna skip that one, and we'll go around and get rid of these. So all those can be deleted. I can see some as a glossy there. I think this might be the earring. Yeah, so the earring has one right here. We definitely don't need an eyelash emission. And then we'll keep that. So yeah, now we have all our normals, all the roughness. We have glossy for these three, four, and then we also have the emission for the eyeball, and the earring, and the rest are just diffuse. So those are looking pretty good. And next thing we can do is we'll go ahead and start setting up the avatar. So first of all, it should just look blank, but you can kind of see like the textures are sort of there. But the first thing we're going to do is just change it to humanoid, press apply, and we'll go to configure. And you can see the textures are kind of messed up because we haven't done anything yet, but this is basically the first step. All you really want to do is just check, is everything in the correct spot? And as long as you haven't changed anything, it should. Just try to make sure it's all lined up. So like, this is the toe, or this is the foot, then you have the toe right here. You have your, lower leg here, and just check to see if your fingers are all lined up. And as long as everything is looking good, you can just do reset and force T-pose. And the only thing that I really change is right here. So for the eye, I just put it as the child bone. Same with this one. And I'm just going to hit a quick reset and force T-pose, and then just apply it. And after that, you can just go to done. And the next thing we're going to do is just extract our materials. And I'm just going to do it right inside of here. Just inside. Actually, let me take back one. We're going to pull this guy and put him in the root folder. And then now we're going to do extract material. Select folder. So it's all they're all going to get dumped out here, which is exactly what we want. So now, if you see the shader defaults to standard, which is not what we want, unless you'd prefer to use that. Again, using Poyomi will definitely yield better results. But before we do that, we're just going to grab our avatar and put him in the scene here so we can see what we're doing. And then we're just going to highlight these and unselect the model. And then we're going to go ahead and set Poyomi as our shader. For you guys, it should just be the default Poyomi, but I have Pro, so it says that. I don't know if it's different between versions, but yeah. And then we can see that it is a nice flat shading now, which is like at least what we want as a baseline. So really quick, using this shader, it should have the normals already mapped correctly, but if you don't, you're gonna have to go ahead and look at your texture. So I can see this is diffuse sweater. So then I want to go and navigate to wherever, my sweater is. So sweater's right here. So then all you do is you would just drag and drop it. into this normal channel. Basically, all we're doing with the shader is just assigning the textures. It's nothing crazy. But, yeah. So, I'm going to deselect the avatar again, or the model. And the first thing I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to... You can see that it defaults to opaque, but typically for older models that use cutouts, like you can see right here, it's just like a square, because it's just like the mesh. You typically want to use cutout like that, and it should be looking, you know, at least a little bit better, for things like the eyebrows and the hair. You might want to adjust the alpha cutoff just like a little bit, just to see if you can preserve some of the I don't know what you call it, just the cutoff, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna use the sweater as like a test to show you guys kind of how I've been doing the material setup. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock this material. Oops, I'm gonna go to the sweater. I'm gonna lock this material so that when I click on something else, it isn't changing. So if you see really quick, like if I click this, it's just changing. But if I lock it and now I do it, it's not gonna change. So I typically go to shading and then I go to reflections and specular. And I turn on reflections and specular. Now we can go to textures and our sweater. It does have a, so I usually use the glossy for the metal. So I'm going to go to packed maps and I'm going to just go ahead and put this in the metallic, crank this up to 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the roughness, which should be this one. And I usually invert this because it's not a smoothness map, it's actually roughness, so I just invert it, just like this. And then lastly, for the reflection mask, I usually just put the metallic back in there or the glossy. So just something like this. So that way it's like kind of trying to only go for the, you know, metal part. I'm gonna see here if specular does anything. Yeah, you probably don't want to touch that one, but um, that's usually how I do this for most of my materials, and they usually end up looking like, you know, half decent. But it's not perfect. And then once you're in a spot where you're looking like it's okay, you can just hit confirm merge, and it should make a new texture somewhere. I don't know exactly where. So yeah, like right here. It's with all the materials, but it's gonna create that packed texture. And yeah, so that's all you really need to do for that. You then repeat that process for all of your other materials and stuff like that. So I'll just do it really quick for the jeans. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. Um, so again, you would just keep doing that for the rest of the stuff. For the clothes, it's pretty straightforward. The skin only should have the we'll do the skin really quick as well. Just so I can show you guys it's a little bit different. So I'm gonna go to the face material right here. If I recall, the face should only have the roughness. So if that was the case, when we go to shading and we go here, don't turn on metallic because it's not going to use it. We only want to have this smoothness slider right here. So the face one should be right here. It's this bake roughness face. So I'm going to put this here and invert it. And then I can basically just hit confirm merge. Should be good. And I'll do that again for the let's see, can I do skin? This is the fingers, so yeah, we can do this one. And the hair is looking like it's this one. Do confirm. Um, yeah, and I think we've hit almost all of them. I think I have to get the tail as well. I know I've forgotten that. The earring should be fine. The earring we're actually gonna do something different. So I'll go here really quick. For the earring, I kind of just want it to glow, so I'm just gonna go to here to special effects, emission 0, and it already has a map right here, so that's good. Just set the strength to 1, because that's all I need. Because if you look here really quick, it says bake emission earring, so it already has the emission map right there. So if you have anything that you want to glow, you could just use that right there. And then next I'll do the eyeball really quick. The eye's gonna be kind of the same thing as the carbuncle earring. So it already has this map right here, which is the little eye part. I just press 1, boom. That's pretty much good to go. I don't think the eye has any roughness, does it? Oh, it does actually. Never mind. Sorry, I apologize. So really quick, we'll actually just hit that. Reflections, boom. Smoothness, invert it, confirm. Then I can hit the headband. And I think we're pretty much good to go. I think I've hit like almost everything. Um, really quick to get these parts fixed up. They're on cut right now, but I'm gonna change them. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that I have been using. Um, you might want to keep them on cutout, but there's another way you can kind of smooth them out. And for eyeshadow, that's this little part right here. That's the eyeshadow. I usually just try to put this on fade, and it gets it a lot smoother. Because you can see that this is literally just a flat, like, gradient. And then same with the eyelash. I usually put this on fade as well. And then lastly, for the tattoo, I would also put that on fade as well, and that usually kind of smooths stuff out. For little stuff like that, it should be fine, but I think in some worlds it might get messed up with lighting and stuff like that. So just try to keep that in mind. That's usually why I keep the hair on cutout, just so it doesn't mess up anything, but it's kind of just up to your own experimentation, whatever you'd like to try. And yeah, so I think I'm looking pretty good. Um, Before we do continue though, I'm gonna sort this by material inside this folder. So here, I'm gonna do that one more time because I did it kind of fast. I just want to get all the materials inside of this folder. So I'm gonna click this little search by type. Then I'm gonna click material. And again, you can just click this, do inside of whatever your folder is. Then I'm just gonna hold shift click and get all of these. Do rendering. I'm gonna do cull. I'm gonna do this to off. So that kind of like makes sure it shows the back faces on both of them. And yeah. The reason I usually do my material setup first is because typically, if I need to go back and edit a model, I'm usually only doing the I usually only have to do the materials one time, because if you go to your model right here and you go here, sorry, let me X this out. This will be better explained right here. If you see on-demand remap here, this is where all of your materials are stored. So you can simply just drag and drop any material here and assign anything. So like here, just as an example, the face is right here. If I did apply, then it's just gonna remap the material for that. Obviously I don't want that, but you get the point I'm trying to get across. So it's good to just, get your materials kind of out of the way and done so that you don't have to spend a ton of time doing it later. But next thing we're gonna do really quick is just we'll add our avatar component and set up the Visemes and stuff like that. Okay, so for that you want to come over here, click on your character base right here. You're gonna type in VRC avatar descriptor just like this. And then you can use your gizmo up here and kind of line it up. So again, I just clicked the Z arrow or the Z little Z blue thing up here to face front orientation, and I'm clicking the box to make it orthographic view. Then I can use middle mouse to kind of pan over to here. And then I'm going to click edit here in the view position. And I'm going to try to get it lined up right in between these two eyeballs here. And next we're going to change our orientation to the side. And we're going to put this right here. So you're seeing where this blue arrow is basically, but near inside this avatar. And that should be good. You can do return, get your camera back. And then next, if you followed along correctly with the part 1 of the video, you can just do auto detect and it should throw in all these Visemes from this mesh right here. And that should be good. And then the next thing we can do is go to enable eye look. And then we're going to open up our hierarchy here to navigate to the eye bones. So it should be QB, head, face, and the eye should be right here. Oops. So the left eye is going to be this one, and the right eye is going to be this one. Sorry, my dog came in the room. I just had a little bit of an interruption. But anyways, so once you have your eye bones right here, you should be able to go to preview. And if you did what I said in part 1 as well, where you stuck the eye bones up and you set the bone roll to 0, they should be just completely straight like this. If they're not, just you're gonna have to re-import your model and fix that issue. But yeah, so while they're looking straight here, you can leave this completely normal. If you want it to look up, you can just go up like this. I usually just do -20 is fine. Looking down would just be 20, so they're looking down. And then looking left, we'll preview this. So that's going to look something like this. -20 on the Y. And looking right would be just 20 on Y, 20 positive. You can do return. And then if you want your eyelids, you just go to blend shapes. And if you recall in part 1 as well, we did make a blink animation for our blink blend shape. So I'm going to pull this eyelids mesh here. We'll do blink looking up, none, looking down, none, but for blink, we'll do just like that. So it's kind of going to do that. And that should be good. And we can just save it just like that. And I think we're pretty much almost done. The last thing I did want to talk about is lighting type. So really quick, now that we have avatar descriptor, we can actually come up here to the SDK and we can just start auto fixing any issues. If it has this like stop sign with the exclamation point in it, that means you cannot upload the avatar at all. So just fix any of these things. The streaming bitmaps is kind of that weird issue where like the model's light kind of flickers when you are changing the blend shape. So if I go back here now, it actually shouldn't do it. But I'll just show you really quick. Like here, so that yeah, like now it's not like flickering when we preview it. So that's good. Last thing, like I said, I was gonna do is go to material. We're gonna select all of these. And let's see. I'm looking for lighting type. Give me one sec. Okay, so if you go to the shading tab here and then you go to shadows, This is basically kind of experimental. You can play around with whatever you'd like here. Um, I've always usually went for texture ramp on most of my avatars, and I typically will ignore the shadow color, but if you want to leave that on, it's totally fine. I think texture ramp looks okay for these avatars, and then also realistic is fine too. It's really up to you what you'd like to do. I think for now though, I might just go with texture ramp, but again, at the end of the day, it's really up to you to select whatever kind of uh, shadow type you'd like. But that's really it. I just select all those materials and I set it like that. If for whatever reason you don't want it on a certain one, you could just go back to whatever the default is if you would like to have it flat. But it's really just up to you guys. It's personal preference. Again, all the materials are, I mean, you can feel free to go wacky, do whatever you want, but that should be about it. Um, I think we're pretty much ready to go. We've got our SDK. I'm sorry, we have our avatar descriptor on our avatar. It's looking like it's all good to go. And then the last thing you want to do is just, you can name your avatar. I'm just going to do this because it's like my test avatar. You can set your visibility to if you want a public or a private. And you can also take a picture and just do whatever you'd like. I'm actually just going to do this so I know it's different, but yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do. I'm only going to be doing this for Windows. If you guys want me to show you, I'll do another video for Quest users on how to make an avatar, because I do have one right here, but I don't really have time in this video to explain how I did it. So yeah. And all you're gonna do is just you build and publish, and you should be good to go. You can add any tags, or you can, add these categories, add a description, whatever you'd like. But after that, you can just go ahead and build and publish, and you should be good to go. So I'm just gonna hit this, and you just press OK, and you should let it do its thing. And I'll just speed up this section of the video, and we should be good to go. All right, so once it's completed, it should say upload succeeded, and your avatar was uploaded to VRChat. And you can view it on the website if you want, but from here, I'm just gonna cut to us in game, and we'll go ahead and test it out there. All right, so here I am in game. You can go to your uploaded avatars on the left here, and you should be able to just select it. Sorry, this is not the one. This one right here, whichever one you just made. And looks like my character is working pretty normally. At this point, you'd have to do your own testing just to make sure everything's working okay. You can see we did add the mouth movements so that the character does have Visemes and it's talking. And if you stare at the eyes long enough, you'll also see that the character should blink as well. But yeah, so you could just see it there for a moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I really have anything else to say other than that. So I know this one's a bit of a toughie, but if you guys have any questions, like as always, just leave a comment. And I'll try to reach you as soon as I can. I just want to say thank you guys if you stuck it out throughout the whole video. I know it's a bit of a long one, but yeah. So I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fun time making some cool avatars and stuff like that. And yeah, so take it easy, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.